Hey, hey, hey. This is Becker was at. Welcome once again to the LOTR, or Lord of the Rings mod. Or rather, not Lord of the Rings mod, but the Middle Earth mod. And we are here inside a very small, hastily constructed tiny alcove inside the building, which, well, let's be honest, we've messed up with, and we're going to have to fix it. And I don't think we're going to get to do too much of that today. But today is episode 7. It's been 1 year since the mod was first created. Now, I will admit that this mod, we have not actually played with it for a whole year yet, but it is there, it is here, we are here. We are doing all kinds of things. And one of the big things with the mod is that you can't sleep through night. I go to bed, I wake up, or rather I don't wake up. Maybe it's something to do with time in the wind. All right, we've actually built a chair down. And so, yeah, well, I think they're planning on making it so you can sit down. Not sure. But anyway, we placed this chair here so as to give this place a little... This is like a little temporary holding cell to me. It's actually just a place to stay for the evening. And I'm going to show you. You cannot stay in... All it does is it just acclimates you to... Or not acclimates, I forgot the word for it. Acclimates you to the bed. Respawn point set. That's the phrase it uses. Waiting. Of course, you wait forever. Down there, if you can see this very carefully, and it's kind of hard to. The nether thing is taking forever. So, I'm not nether. The clock is taking forever. Okay, so I built this so we'd have somewhere to put our extra junk that we have just sitting around. I had it all outside. I took it, I put it outside, and that's all you really need to know about that. This is a place where I can keep my extra stuff for when I go on my expedition. I have a personal storage area and a couple of furnaces if I need them, but I use the furnaces downstairs. I could maybe make a path down here. It would go straight down, and I would land in between the crops, but we're not going to do that either. Oh, was it dark out here? I had this set up like this so it would not be too obvious. And I think I succeeded. I like how the Bliss mod, which is the Bliss shader pack has improved. Oh, wait, what do we got here? This needs to be since I've removed everything here, I've even removed that. Didn't remove some of the grass. All right, yeah, let's oh, I've got fence gates, but I don't I have to use beech wood anyway. All right. I know I got some somewhere. I'll go find them. While I'm down here. Not much has changed down here, you know. It's still growing crops. All the different crops. We got this finished. I believe I showed that off last episode. Okay, bread, pipeweed, potatoes, carrots, the beetroots, the sugar cane. Now, since this stuff gives you books and stuff, I thought I should put all this stuff down there since that's where my enchanting table is. But I think I'm just moving some of the books there. Lettuce, onions, garlic, leeks, cacti, cucumbers. Netherwort? I don't have netherwort. Well, if I do have netherwort, I don't know where it is. Miscellaneous is just the remaining food and the other stuff I haven't messed with yet. Yeah, it's all cooked. There's no raw stuff. I got some reeds here. Whoa! Oh yeah, once I went to the overworld and there it was. I haven't messed with it yet. It hasn't grown yet anyway, so we'll see what happens. Okay, what do we need? We are looking for some wood. Beech wood, as it happens. I don't have any beech wood on me, so let's see what we got. Beech fence. Let's see. No more than 7 will be needed, but I think we need fewer than 7. Not important. What else has happened? It's the 1 year, it's just a couple of days ago was a 1 year anniversary of the mod. Now, I don't know what they were doing to celebrate. They have They have servers. There's one official server that they're running, and that's nice. And I like that. I haven't played on that server yet. Don't know if I will, because they're going to update soon. And okay, so what do we got down there? Nothing. That should be lit. All right. Yeah. As soon as it gets light, we're going to go out and start the tour. Hi. I've killed a number of these hobbits lately. I went into a test world and I set it up. I flattened out a small area in the test world, and I killed a number of hobbits by spawning on top of a very short tower an orc who couldn't therefore be reached by the hobbits. And so the orc was an archer, and he just kept killing hobbits over and over, and just more of them kept spawning in over and over, and it was a continuous thing. Yeah, see, that one's lit up, so we gotta light one up here. I knew that. So anyway, it's the 1 year anniversary. Have I said that yet? And I'm celebrating by pretty much running this video. Unfortunately, the other day a few days ago, I was required. No, it was a couple weeks ago. I was required to because Lord of the Rings was, or rather, Middle Earth was being added to the create mod, the create server. So I went and did some stuff on the create server, and I've been occasionally doing stuff on the create server. Okay, so the idea here. Yeah, there's a lot more to talk about. Lots more to talk about. But I got to talk about what's going on here. The idea here is that we'll have 2 or maybe 3 floors, second, third, and maybe even 4th floor. And it'll be a continuous space up here. And then above that, we'll have a dome in this area. And I don't know if I can see it from here. I'll have to go over to one of the other ones. The second floor has been pretty well done, but the third floor is not, and I screwed it up. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Third floor. Okay, now the problem here. This is fine. Second floor is fine. It's not perfect because I didn't put the glass up yet, because I haven't decided what colors glass we're going to use. The thing is, though, the third floor should be flush with the second floor and 4th floor. I want to have 3 floors, and that's the problem. Gotta find the stairs up here. The problem is it's not. I moved it in slightly. And because I moved it in, it was no good. And since I can't really do anything while I'm sleeping, I'm going to have my drink now. So we're going to have to tear all this out, and we're going to have to start by moving everything back out to where it was originally. And I don't know how we're going to do that. And I have really parched. All right, since it's approaching daytime, can start to see things. You notice that I've created a lot of flat land, and that's on purpose because we're going to be building some buildings here and there, and I want to have flat land for a lot of the areas. It's so much better that way. Now, there's nothing indicating in Lord of the Rings that the Shire has got any flat land, and if you look at the movie, you can see that it's not. They've got some areas, but it's mostly little rolling hills because they have to have their hobbit holes in them. And I'm amazed that we still have any horses or other creatures, other non-humanoid creatures in this place. Also, I don't think that the property owner, if there was one there, would take very kindly to my cutting across their base. All right. Typical of me is this. Nothing has been constructed in here yet. That's just typical. Ew. Oh, I was working on this. This isn't finished yet. Trying to figure out how to finish it is the problem. Well, let's see if we can figure something out here. That's going to have to do, but it doesn't look right. I've gone off of that kind of method of doing things. I want to have this flush with going out that way. But if we do this, then this can't be here. And maybe it shouldn't be here. Maybe we should move it off slightly. Maybe we should move that off slightly. So I don't know yet. Alright. Daytime? Time to go up. Oh, and I don't know if I've loaded all the terrain yet, so we'll just see what we can see. It looks like we've loaded most of everything. We can see pretty far. Alright, so this way to the docks. I'll show you the docks later, and we are going to show you the docks. That area has been mostly finished. We've got that area like that, and it goes up. It was unfortunate. It may well be that we can flatten that out and move these stairs over here. But then we might have to do something over there, and I can't because it's just too high up. So probably not. We got that set up as a... What is that? Boo! Anyway. Most of what I've done is when I was modifying things, I've got stairs and I set the stairs up in one place, and I like the stairs being more even now instead of the unevenness which they had earlier. This is nice, but it just goes into this area, which is just that, and it goes down, and the purpose of it is to go down to this, which is somebody's home. And so I've surrounded it like that so that it wouldn't because to try to make it go all the way down means an endless amount of work. I mean, it's just more work. It would be about 3-4 days work. And we'd have to consider lowering that. A lot of flat area there. That, we've shown you that. That's been flattened out to there, but I think it's not been finished in that area. We've got a lot in this direction that has not been finished, and we've got a lot in that direction that has not been finished. And in the far end, which is the far distance... the furthest distance that we are going to make anything, wherever that is. But right now we're doing this stuff near the near where we are. All right. Anyway, I made this go up to here because it's just how it was, and we need space for that guy's hobbit hole area. But there's further hobbit hole areas downstairs that are possible, except that the distance between elevation change is 2 meters instead of 1 meter. So, yeah, we're going to figure something like that out. That goes down there. This hasn't been fixed. We might put a hobbit hole in there, but we got something over there. Well, that's just that thing. So I haven't figured out what we're going to build there or when, but we've got the... Where's our stone bricks? Well, I guess we use regular bricks. Not a big deal. That's not been finished. I knew I wasn't finished with this area, but you know, that needs to be straightened out. That needs to be sorted. That's not been finished. So yeah, there's areas. This is going to the bridge. Today, if I get the chance, we're going to check out the where the bridge is going to go and exactly how it's going to go. But we haven't finished flattening this area out to make it look more presentable, and so that too is pipeweed. That too has to be worked on and will be worked on. Okay. Over here. We've added some of these. I don't know if we did that last episode or if it's been done since then. More of these little structures. Besides the house there, we've got we got a hobbit hole. A hobbit hole. A hobbit entrance here, and here. This one's kind of hard to see. And we might try to do one on the other side, but I don't know where we would put it, really. Now, just last night, I spent hours and hours. I had a 9-hour session, I think, or was it 7 hours? Just flattening all this area out. It is insane. All right, so this it means it goes up. Wasn't calculated right, and this happened. I guess it's possible to move it over now. I hadn't thought of that. I may yet do that. And yeah, like I said, that area is not finished. I wanted the stairs to all be here, but you see, this goes down 4, not 2 or 1. So it was really horrible. And you can see how this was just finished barely at the last minute. And then that goes down there and it becomes that. And I was originally thinking of moving all that in so that we had a flatter area. But no, we're not going to do that. We're going to have this like this. What's to be built here? I don't know. But I do know what we're going to build on that little shelf area there. No, wait, that's not right. That's not the shelf area. Is that the shelf area? Wait. Well, there's a shelf area somewhere where I'm going to build. Oh, it's over here. Yeah, see, there's the torches. That's where I've got the that's where I got the signs. There's a shelf area here. This is going to be used for some small kiosks that will sell things. Vendor kiosks, and we'll have something set up there. And over here will be some larger shops. So this will be the shopping district. Relatively small mom and pop stores kind of thing. Ah! What just happened? Did I accidentally hit a button? I think I hit a button. I don't know what happened. That was at least a little bit disturbing. I have. All right. Well, everything seems okay. So let's continue here. So yeah, I worked. This is what I was working on last night. Was mostly that area, and then that area, and that area, and it's mostly done. House is over there. House goes up to that. No, house has a pathway to this pathway here that goes through. There's some stairs. On this side and on that side we have some hobbit holes. I got a hobbit hole over there. I wasn't sure to put it there, but once I built this road over here, which just goes off, yeah, there's nothing in this direction. But when it goes off here, and the idea was that it'll lead towards this. This is going to be a magician's tower. We're going to have a magician residing in here, and getting him at some small expense, or maybe no small expense. But he doesn't want to come because there's no tower there yet, and he doesn't want to have to build it himself. You know how wizards are. They don't want to do the work themselves unless it's absolutely necessary. And there's a kind of a lack of stuff going on over here in that direction. That's got to be all taken care of too. But I did most of the stuff between there and over here. And so that's it. Okay, what else did we do over here? That's not done yet. We started on it, but that's been mostly flattened. This area needs to be worked on. That area has a lot of flattening left to do. That area's got a number of hobbit... Well, I don't know if I've shown that. So it's time to go. Already 20 minutes into the episode. It's time. Now, what did I press that caused that to happen? Hello, cow. Now, the question is, am I going to make a rail system? Is the rail system going to be underground or above ground? Well, to do that, I'm going to need to go back to the overworld again and get some slime blocks. Then I have to make, what's it called? An observer. this was I remember when this was an important intersection. I think I was going to tear down this, but I definitely have to consider what we're going to do here, because this is a real mess. This is old terrain. Now, for example, this. Now, how did that get there? How did that get there? And then why is that there? I might leave this like this and have some hobbit holes under the roads or something. But I might just make the other stuff under the roads anyway. I never know what I'm gonna do or how we're gonna arrange it. Some of it is just do what needs to be done in the order in which it needs to be done. In this area, this is nice. It looks weird though. It's like abstract or something. It's like, why didn't you just do urban renewal and build them a house and on the top of the flat area? And I'm like, no, we're going to be nice about this. This area has been filled up mostly, but it's nowhere near finished. We're not going out to the end. When we get to the end, we're going to build a wall around the area. Okay, this you can't see this from the tower, so I put it over here. 3 hobbit structures at different levels. The idea is that everybody's going to have hobbit holes are not going to be any more than 5 meters tall, because they're hobbits. You know, they want everybody to bang their head on stuff. So we set 3 of those up, and then they have something going on here. We can still put buildings here, of course, but I don't know. Maybe they want that like that so they could look at what's going on the road. The height of this cannot be changed because this is where you spawn in. And if I wanted to change things off, okay, now you see these diagonal line there and a diagonal line there. This is very similar to what I did in Create Server. Had a little diagonal line because I don't know what to do with this. I can have it go out like that, or I can have it go out like this. I decided diagonals like that. It's interesting. It is not, however, great. And then this goes down like this because that works over there with that, and that's at that level. And like I already talked about this. Okay, now I was working on the buildings. We'll get to that in a second. And that's why I've got trees here so I could have this. I've put up a wall. It was dirt, but now it is, of course, the new stone tiles. I decided stone tiles is what they want. Stone tiles is what they got. And so now you can look at the ships coming in or going out. Hey, Frank, you could yell from here. Hey, Frank, we'll see you next time. And he's like, oh, okay, bye. And then he just drifts off somewhere in his little boat. I need more beech trees, actually. We had a beech tree over here, but that was when we had a small hill. And I've removed that. Hi. How come you guys don't have names? How come you're so easy to accidentally hit? This was a mistake. I'll leave it. Who cares? This area has to be dealt with. Because it's a mess. That's why. I need to further delineate the map size and to finish the wall. This is the only staircase I think that just goes straight down like that. Okay. Now at last. Oh, I didn't build that one yet. That'll be. We finished the interiors. Oh, wait. No, we didn't finish the interiors. And there's all this junk. Oh, I forgot about this junk here because I'm still working on these. This room has been finished. It is a pretty good. Except I didn't finish those. I've only got like 1 stone brick. I need more stone bricks. Hold on a second. Stone brick. That'll do, I think. We need 8 stone bricks. Okay, so anyway, so we've got this finished. Alright, so yeah, just the ceiling, just the edges, it's just stone brick stairs like this, and it looks nice to an extent. We might put something in here, but this is underneath the stairs, so there's not too much room, but we could put something in here. We could. In fact, this would be a good place to put the like a service desk of some kind. This is going to be at least 2 floors or 3 floors. I don't know yet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe we got room for 3 floors. Maybe we don't. It's going to be a bit of a hotel kind of thing. Temporary place to stay while you're in town. And we need that there. And we don't need that there. Right. This hasn't been worked out because I don't know what this is going to be. It's going to be another room, I guess. And it goes into here, which is another one of these. And hi, everybody. But what is this? Well, this might be a small market kind of thing. But it's big, so maybe it'll be a dock. Maybe we'll have another dock thing that goes out here. And the idea is that you could load goods onto this one. And it goes in here. Maybe. Maybe. And then this might be a further storage room. I don't know yet. All right. All right, so we got to figure this out. I was using slabs, but I don't care about that anymore. Right now I got enough problems as it is. Hooray! Everything is fine. Let's put this in here. Got another one over here actually. Oh, this is still running. Oh, well that's where we could use that. I'm gonna keep this running. This will keep running until it's done. Yeah, I don't like that it's raining. Yeah, so we're gonna have another one over there, and we'll have another connection to that, and so on and so on and so on. There's no point in beating about the bush. That's not a bush. Okay, let's see what else we need to work on. Okay, now this needs to be dealt with. We don't see these birds too often. Called pheasants or whatever they're called. I can't get close enough to them to see what their name tag says. Anyway, this area, this is a very natural area. Needs to be worked on. This area needs to be flattened out, and then we have to decide if it goes up or down or what we're going to do around the area. Well, I've just noticed that we don't have a name for the place, and we don't have a sign for the place. Don't need the door. Okay, so here we go. Bloop. And now it's time to name the place. And this is where, if I had any viewers, I'd say, hey, what do you want to name this? What's the name of the guy or gal or whatever who lives here? A widow. A widow. Okay. The Widow Biddy. There we go. The Widow Biddy. Unfortunately, Mr. Biddy died years ago of lumbago or Winnebago. I think he came down with Winnebago and he died. And that was very unfortunate. But the Widow Biddy inherited the Widow Biddy house that she now lives in for now. And she is courted by nobody whatsoever because she smells a bit. She has vowed to never bathe until until she has somebody. And that's a problem because she doesn't have somebody. And she's not going to get somebody if she doesn't bathe. Something like that. Or maybe she does bathe and she just wears lots of perfume or something. Okay, well, we've got that one done. Okay, I need to find the sign of where the edge is on this thing. Although I don't have any I don't have any brick walls ready to start up. Thought maybe we could look. Where do I gotta get my sword out? Ha! Yeah. Where am I? Where is this? This should be about where it is. Wait, let me look. Bloop. Oh no, it goes further out. This area has not been worked on, and will probably be worked on next time. We're going to start working on stuff on camera. I was doing it off camera because it was very, very boring work. And indeed, it is very boring work, but we're planning the building of the town. It's not just dealing with the houses that already exist. My stupid egg thing. I wish there was like an egg slot. I could any eggs or indeed seeds of wheat seeds. Just anything that I don't want to have to carry around with me, but I can't help but pick up. This area needs to be flattened. Shouldn't I just start flattening it now? It's a good idea. I get rid of all strawberry bushes because they are so annoying. If there were nettles, I'd get rid of them too. What did I just press? Something wrong with me. Okay, so the thing is, we can't have a hobbit hole down here because it's only 3 high. We need it to be 4 high or 5 high. So I was thinking maybe we could dig down, but that's not going to work either. But you know what? We could. We should have some subway stations, and that would be an ideal thing to do, is to have some hole areas where you could go off and at particular intersections we could have little subway stations. The more I think about that, the more I like it, but I don't know how we would arrange that. We don't have too many. We don't have any way to get the subway yet because we don't have anything set up the way we want. So this will probably be flattened out. Now here's the problem. It's a very large area. It goes out that way. I don't know. This area looks like it could be done with. Okay, so that's that. Work on that. Gotta flatten some of that out, or maybe we could leave the hill there. This is not, even though it's well, it's only 5 wide. This is not where we're gonna put one of these things. Hobbit. This is actually where the next road is going to be. This is not the finished road, but if we got a road here, then we got a road. We're gonna have a road that way. But I'm not sure about that. So, but if I do that, this is as far out as it goes. Pig. Alright, anyway, we don't know about this. It's another large area that we could probably flatten out. And it would probably take one huge long session. This area is too big to flatten out, but we could do something. Maybe we can have like a stairs going down somewhere, and then we'll have hobbit holes down there. Could happen, maybe one anyway. This is a hobbit hole. This goes up here and then turns off. Well, I guess we're gonna have something over here, but where is this gonna go? This is some of the earlier work, and so we've still got, ta-da, the Grunglebunks. They keep to themselves. They're out of town half the time, and when they're not out of town, they're very annoying people. The question of do we put more hobbit holes here, I don't know yet, because although this goes up nicely, this was built early on. Here it is. This is the wall. This is the location of the wall, which is going to separate the town from outside the town, and outside the town they'll have to fend for themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to check exactly what this region is. Region. Maybe they don't tell you the region. Oh, they give you the chunk numbers. Why do they give you chunk numbers? Oh, here we go. 02 in 5857. Yuck. So that will be, I should write that down. I won't write it down, though, because, 5857. I won't write that down because I might remember it, but also because I probably have to go all the way down there to the edge of the area, because this is gonna continue in that direction all the way to the edge of that area. But 5857's annoying, is what it is. And it goes all the way down to whatever the number is at the far end. I don't know. Alright. Okay, we see a house over there. I do not remember it. Let's go and visit it. Bees. Okay, we are on 1.20.1. In approximately 2 weeks, I suspect it might be a little longer than that, 1.21.0 will come out. The .0 is an honorific. It's not actually there. Who lives here? Dodo Schmaggins. Yep. And there they are, talking with each other about various things. They don't want us to know that we're here. This was built so long ago that you got one of these kind of things set up, and that is not good. We're gonna have to fix that. Uneven means you're gonna accidentally slip and fall if you're drunk some evening. You need to have regular stairs. I'm not following you. This dips down. This is no good. I'm gonna have to fix it. But what if it's their favorite tree? Then I have to plant a tree on top of whatever we build up there. This too goes down rather unevenly, and oh, look at this. Yeah. It's just too much mess over here. We need to flatten this area out. So maybe that's okay. We just need to move it up a little bit, and that this flattens out to up here. But we got to work out about the details of the hill that house stands on, Dodo Schmaggins or not. All right. We haven't done much work over here. Well, we flattened some area out, and I think that there's some area needs to be done, which is why, although I've said I'm going to do some work over there, I'm not going to do it. Probably because I got to do it over here. Again, it's the uneven stairs. Can be worked on. What do you want? Worzel Gummidge. I thought he was in Australia, but the original story of Worzel Gummidge is not specifically an Australian. Anyway, I don't think he necessarily has a hobbit hole, but who cares? This area was flattened. I haven't been here in a few days. More than a couple weeks, actually. So who knows what's going on here. That's been started. Flat over there. Not quite flat over there. Some work to be done in the area. Let's consider. Let's consider what's on the agenda. Oh. Didn't know this was here. Actually, this would probably be where we would put one of our stations if we had a station in here. But maybe we could do something else. I don't know yet. You know, now that I think of it, this is really clunky. Is this going to be flattened out? What we're going to do down here? I might have to redo the whole thing. And then this goes up, and then this has to go up here, and then it clunkily goes up here like this. It's alright. It could... And here's one of our rare rear ones of these. You know, now that I think of it, I may swap this out. I may swap these out. I may say stone bricks for the houses and regular bricks for the building structures involving subways or whatever we might do there. It could happen. Why do they hold on to dirt blocks? I have no idea. It's just a silly thing to see. Something over that way, and I forgot what it was. This comes to an end. I don't remember if this is the end of this. I think we continue in that direction a little bit. I don't know. Or if this continues. There's room for continuance. But I haven't even touched this area. Alright, so we'll just start looking at this here. Okay, so bloop, 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 bloop. Well, this is not it. This might be it. Or this might be it. One of these will be the flatland area that we'll have. Oh, see these things. I absolutely hate these things. You get rid of them. We've got strawberries. We're going to have a strawberry place to put a bunch of strawberries. But it's going to be out of the way. It's not going to be somewhere we're going to walk into it regularly. Yeah, but then this goes down, 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 down. And so where it's going, where the stairs are going to go up, well, that area has been flattened. And so I guess we can assume that would be a good place to start. Huh? But then this just goes down here. That might be a mistake. Because then it goes, and then it goes down here like this. It might be better if we had it set up somewhere else. Another thing is, this goes down to here, and then it goes back up, which is out. But we can't have it all the way up there, so it should probably go down to something, and then come down from there. This area, again, we have 3, 3, 5, 2, 3, 2, 3. And what is this, 6? That's out. That's completely out. So what we need to do is, we're going to have to set everything up so that, well, what is this level? This level is 79. This is a pretty good level. It's a bit high up, though. And so we can't have it go all over the place because that's there. We're not going to have any underground things. So that's 79. So let's see where this goes. So 77. So I think that what will happen is it'll go up to 77. So it'll go from there. It'll go down to 77, and from up here. So here's how we're going to do this. Wait, did I see something? Here's how we're going to do this. Oh, I just realized I left my my dirt slabs. There's one thing I don't want to do is to make more dirt slabs right now. Alright, well, it's got to be done, I guess. Alright. I've also got to double check that this is the nearest road to the house, which is owned by Jim and Pantyhoser. Who came up with that one? I have no idea. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to flatten the terrain around them. We got to have a distance of 5. What do you want? Oh, you don't want me to work too loudly at night. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll be quiet, okay? I'll be as quiet as I can. I won't run any power drills or have any beep-beep trucks. They like the beep-beep trucks. 2, 3, 4, 5. This has to make a little noise, though, I'm sad to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what happens is 121.0 is coming out in a couple of weeks. And as a result, well, I suspect it might take longer. But what they're going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why I'm not going to fill this in, because we might do something with this area. Flatten it out, sort of thing. No, I haven't worked out the details yet. Alright, so we would... So what's going to happen is 121 comes out. That means that this mod is going to update to 1.21. When it happens, we won't be able to update to 121 for this series right away because of two mods, Inventorio and Stacker, or whatever other Stacker mods exist. And there are other Stacker mods that exist. There's Stacker and there's another one. What's the other one called? Well, it's on the create server if you want to know what that other mod is, but I don't remember it by name right this minute. This does seem like a bit much, but we have to flatten the area out. And it's easier to do this down there. It's complicated. Oh, you know what? This is also wrong. You see how it is wrong? It should be out to here. That's how it should be. It's got to go out one. And now we always get to do this because it's nice. It removes that stuff. It gives it to us. We have extras. All right. So what did I say? 77? 77 is not too bad, but it does take a while. It's kind of annoying to have to do this like this, but it's surrounded pretty well. So until those two mods are updated, we can't update this just because Middle Earth has done it. And that's too bad. But that's how it is. So there. And it does go kind of high, but that's the idea, is that we could then continue to keep the area relatively flat, and we just have to work on the surrounding area. They don't know about what those areas. That is clearly too high up, so it probably won't go there. We'll probably have stairs, not stairs necessarily, but we'll have something else going down because this is just too much. And what is going on over there? That's the hole. That's the watering hole. What's interesting about that watering hole is that's one of the first times we built stairs that went down like that. And it's very uneven, as you can see. You can just see how uneven it is. So yeah, this is a problemo. All right. And let's see. bloop, bloop, bloop. And bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop. Alright, it's 73. Off we go. Do. Okay, now for the next piece of interesting information. The original photo for the back rooms has been found. Well, everybody knows the original photo for the back rooms. Or that's where the interest in it started from, way before there was even a Backrooms series on YouTube. But the original Backrooms photo has not been identified until recently. Some guy found it and claimed claimed it was from 2002. So the EXIF information for the photo said we're up to 77. This is it. It looks weird when you see this like this, and you're like, "How are you going to do this?" The answer is, well, we're just going to have dirt going around the place. You know, we got plenty of dirt, not much dirt, just plenty of it. This needs to be dealt with. This needs to be dealt with. Okay, I've mistakenly... Are we going to have it actually come up to here? We're going to have to, I guess. This is 77, so this is where it's going to go. Well, I don't know yet. I think we'll decide later on about all this, but this is 77. This is where this goes out to. This is where it should be then. So the answer was Oshkosh, Wisconsin, 2002 is where the Backrooms photo originated. It was a former furniture store, nice to know, which had closed down in 1994 and had been bought out by an RC toy-based place called Hobby World or something like that. I'm forgetting. And they built and they set something up. All right, so what do we need to do here is we need to, since this is 77, we need to go out here like this. There we go. And so they were renovating it, and it was on a website. The website was taken down years and years and years ago, and that's why nobody was able to find the image. But they found the site more recently in the Internet Archive. And so the Internet Archive has given us the answer to our questions. It has nothing to do with the back rooms. The owner, apparently the Hobby World guys, still own the building, if not the site. They're still renovating it for different things. It's been around for some time now. They're all very happy now there. How are you? Of course, that doesn't answer the question about the back rooms themselves. As in, it just looked like a creepy image and they just went with it and it just was a creepy image. In other news, the Backrooms movie is still being worked on. Apparently, the A4, I think the name of the company doing the name of the studio doing this is A4. And unfortunately, they were behind the Slender Man movie, and that was very poor, according to my sources. Oh no, I claim my torches. They're my torches, you know. They're my torches, you know. You can't have them. All right, 5, 6, 7. I've had to learn all kinds of tricks to going faster. Otherwise, I wouldn't get anything done in this place. All right, here we go. Is this faster than doing this? Hard to say. I'd have to time it. I don't know if it's true. Maybe it's a little faster. Maybe. One more. Gravel. Gravel looks funny. It's got a weird look to it. A weird color. I love working in Hobbitown or the Shire because no creepers, no skeletons, no phantoms. I gotta take a drink. Hold on a second. No creepers, no phantoms, no skeletons, no zombies. I could just stand here and nothing happens. Okay, that tower is not too tall, but I might need a bigger tower because there are some areas we can't see beyond a certain point. So I haven't worked that out yet. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, here we go. A little bit more on this side. But the problem is not that. The problem is how are we going to do it at this direction? What is in this direction? It's got to keep going this way, but this is 77 and I don't know what we have. Whoa! They must have just spawned in and they were in the same location and then they just exploded out. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Hobbits. The people hobbit. I'm sorry, you guys, but that's all there is to this. All right. Boop. Was off by 3. All right, now. Excuse me. I'm trying to avoid being too loud here because it's the middle of the night and I don't want to wake the hobbitses up. But they're all awake. They're all just hanging around here. Yeah, in the early days, let me undo that. In the early days, the hobbits, or not the hobbits, I'm sorry, me. In the early days, I would have just said, okay, this looks like this. Now we're going to have, it's going to go down to try to match the natural contours of the outer terrain. And now I'm like, we want a flat area up here. Sort of thing we're apt to want to do. So that's what we do first is this. Okay, so this is where the flat area is, but then this goes out to here. But I haven't decided that it will be here. It might be inwards further, so I don't know yet. So at the very least, we're going to have this going out to here like this. You'll have a second. So that's all going to be flattened. And then we'll have similar layers down here. Well, this here is going to be like this. We'll just start on these. I really would like to find a way to speed this part up. This area. I don't want a cucumber. But the universe is at there was a Doctor Who line somewhere from Warrior's Gate. But the fate of the universe is at stake. Oh, forget it. Here, have a cucumber. Something like that. I don't remember the exact line, but I don't think it was actually a cucumber, but he said something like that. Yep. Damn it, I've just run out. All right. I need more dirt. Whoa. What was that? I'm going to have to get more dirt. Hold on. Oh, shit. I fell down a hole that was in a hole. If I just fallen down a hole by itself, that would have been fine. But this was a hole that was in a hole. That was bad news. All right, we're getting there. Let's get some more. I'd say we need about 4 stacks. About 4 stacks. I also need to find the exit here. I think that's enough. There's going to be a lot of holes underneath the various places. Is all I can really say. Whoa. This happens sometimes. Yeah, no matter how careful you are, you can still make mistakes like this. A couple of mistakes caused everything to derail. Alright, here we go. Here's a new one. Oop. Well, excuse me. What do you want? I'm doing the best that I can. Here's a new one I came up with. How is that possible? The answer is that it was possible because when you're doing this, you're turning slightly, and so you don't have to worry about that. But this is done this way, even though it's a bit slower. And when I say it's new, I don't mean that it's new, entirely new. I believe it's just new to me. I just like this idea. You go here, and then you, because you're facing this way, you're not as likely to. It shouldn't work, but it does. Oop, and then you get that happening, but that's okay. Now the next question is, where's the one that we're going to have on this side? And I don't know yet. This is pretty good. This might be a good place to put this. And so if we do, then we can have this come out here. But, yeah, I heard that. You think you can... Ooh, oh, I dropped it. Okay, I'll leave the egg there. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so 77, but this is not 77. This is 74. Sorry, I was looking at something. And this is 73, so it's not going to really... And this is 72. Ugh. Well, I don't know. I work on this. I sit there for about half an hour and thinking about what I'm going to do next, and I am never sure. But what we can be sure of is that this does go out 5 blocks, and now we're going to... Oh. Well, that's great. Okay, so what we gotta do here is we gotta... But it goes out to this area, and I don't know. I really don't know. All right, well, we're gonna have to work on this end like this. That's all there is to it. No. It's weird to see this like this. I only just want to break some of these because they're in the way, but also because you could use them. You could make green jewel. They make green dye. But I've got cactus. Yes, indeed, I have cactus. So eventually I'll be making green dye from cactus. I don't need to use cauliflower or whatever. And I did this wrong. It should be 2 of these. I also, excuse me, I also dislike that. Alright, so yeah, this tree is going to get in the way. But we need to plant a new tree, but we don't have that set up yet, so we'll just... So now I got some of that. Let's put it here. Beach log. Wait a minute. Where'd the other sticks go? I grabbed some sticks and now it's exactly 999? I doubt that. I doubt that sincerely. I doubt that sincerely. Alright, so time for the next layer. No, we're not done with this layer. Well, the question is, what are we going to do about this area? This area, this also is going to need to be worked out. We're going to have to flatten the area around the watering hole, maybe even enlarge the watering hole if we can, and have a better staircase going down to it. This is not a problem. This is not a problem. It's just an engineering project. And to have a nice big watering hole, a bigger one, would be really helpful and would be very awesome to the circumstances. I don't want your stupid eggs. There's too many eggs. I think they dropped too many. These pigs are dropping too many eggs. Alright, that was kind of dumb. Alright. Yeah. So what are we going to do about this? I have no idea. Whoop. Is this correct? This is not correct. We have to do this area. Okay, that's done up to there. But the idea is we gotta cornerify this. There you go. Wait, no, that's not it. No, we do need that there. Okay. No, that's not right either. At last, we're done. Okay. We're done with that. Now it's just a matter of straightening this mess out. Well, I have to say this is really weird that you can just go in here. Maybe we should make something of that, but I really can't right now. I really don't have the desire to do this that way. All around me are familiar faces. It's all dirt. Dirty, dirty faces. But hey, this is how it's done. This is how This is how you do the terraforming. There's no shortcut here. You gotta do it the way that it's gotta be done. No matter how much time this takes, or it's gotta be done. The only shortcuts you could do are so things could go things could go faster, and they can go faster. But oh man, what do you want? You're gonna get stuck down here, you know. Stuck, I tell ya. Stuck, I tell ya. You're gonna get stuck if you hang around downstairs. We've got to find her. She's been missing for 3 days now. Don't care much for hobbit posses. They can't find nothing. 176,000 hobbits have gone missing in the last 3 months alone. They don't know anybody. That's why they breed like rabbits. They breed like rabbits. They can't. They have to because they have to keep up with the disappearances. If you said that about anybody in this world, in the real world, I mean, people would say you were racist for saying that, even though you aren't necessarily. It's not a good result. Okay. How do these things happen? See this result? This is the kind of result we want. What are you looking at me for? I'm doing the work, aren't I? Make it sound like I shouldn't do work in this area. It's like the Beverly Hillbillies. I acquired this property. I acquired all the property, and I'm going to build on this property whether you want me to or not. It belongs to me now. I think we'll just stop at 7. Thank you. But now you want out again? Oh, you're not the same one. See, they go missing every day. There's a whole bunch of them that go missing. All right, let's see. 72 is, like I said, this is going to be the maximum. Huh? Another one to deal with. I wasn't. Now that I think of it, I don't know where that's supposed to come out. But since that's 72, we should probably stop there for that. Okay, so yep. Say what you will, I still hate that. I especially hate it because I gotta do this. Oh, I don't know if I can. Hold on. Oh! That's complicated. Alright, hold on. Ah! You really don't have to worry about trapping the hobbits down underground or something, or in holes or whatever. Oh, wait a minute. This hasn't been set up right. We don't have to worry about that because the hobbits themselves respawn all the time. It's weird. Alright, yeah, this is the level. Green blah blah blahs. Green blah blah blahs are bothering me. I cannot stand this botany. Is botany the right word? Yeah, I think so. This isn't very good because you're using the left key to move left, and it pushes you backwards slowly, and then you go through that, and you don't like that either. But it... There you go. Number of hobbits I've killed. 5. I think I've killed about 5 hobbits. They were in the way, I'd hit them, they'd fall sometimes to their death, and once I had to kill one that was attacking me. But usually when they attack you, they gang up on you, and you can't do anything about it. You get pissed off at them. Wait, no, this is right. Oh, I see. Idiot. I'm a freaking idiot. Wait, no, this isn't right. Wait. Oh, I screwed up. Ah, I screwed up. Alright, that's why it didn't look right. Oh, wait, you know what? I didn't screw up. I mean, I screwed up in that I thought I screwed up, but I didn't screw up because this is the right level. This is just going to go out there. I thought I was going to keep going. I'm telling you. This sort of thing drives you crazy after a while. Just placing dirt, digging up dirt, placing more dirt, digging up more dirt, making dirt slabs, lighting things up, making path blocks. Oh, and I screwed that up too. I didn't need that one. Oh, 73 is a problem because over here it's going to go out to that. Hold on. And I screwed this up too. Making mistake. La da da da. Okay, let's that's where it, well, it could go out to over there, but yeah, so we got 73 over here. And let's make sure we don't make a mistake here by doing this as well. Okay, so we could just have it go up there like this. If we do 74, we can have it go out to there, maybe. In fact, that would be good because that way we could say that's where it goes down, and then we'll just have a gradual decline down there so we can have a nice large area around that watering hole. We can make it into a big, huge swimming pool or something. But if we make it into a swimming pool, then we have to add chlorine. And if we add chlorine, then it can't be very natural water and people can't use it for drinking. so the decision to be made, and I don't know. That's not how the song goes. It's decisions to be made. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The good advice of friends. All right, never mind that song. All right, so that's how we're going to do this. That's how we'll do that now. I press this button so much my button pressing hand hates me. I can only play for a couple of hours, and it's already an hour and a half. I have to stop playing after a while and say, move on! Move on, we have things we have to do. I have to watch videos and listen to music and do things that don't require me to press too many buttons. That's why I was busy I was watching other people's live streams, and then I got bored with that, and I switched over to something else, and they're on the Kane Pixels. They're on the Kane Pixels Discord called Kane's Facility for some reason. They'd announced that they'd discovered the location of the BR. Where it came from. It's a nice little story. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Even more uh-ohs than usual. This place needs to be lit up down here. What is going on there? Weird lighting. I need to eat something. And I need to drink something. Hope you'll pardon me on that. It's unfortunate that we have to wait until we can get an update for Inventorio and the Stacker mod, whichever Stacker mod it should end up being, that we will use. It's unfortunate, but it's just how it goes, because of the nature of this world. I doubt we're... Yeah? What the hell? I'm just messing up like crazy today. This is like the fifth major mistake I made. How does one make a mistake like this? I haven't made any mistake like this in the last maybe 2 weeks. Well, there was probably like one time. There's something serious going on here. That's a simple mistake. And when did I get the beetroot? I don't want the beetroot. Now I'm looking at everything to make sure there's no mistake on anything. And no mistake. That's a Hobbit expression. You gotta fix this thing and no mistake. So whatever they introduce in the next version of Middle Earth mod, it's not going to be anything that I can use right away because I have to wait until Inventorio is updated. They haven't even updated for 1.20.6 yet, which is a huge problem. Come on. Alright, that's good. Well, it's just how it goes. We're not going to be able to, until they introduce fast travel and a better way to go between worlds. And they're not going to do that with the next version. The next version is not going to have that. But they are planning on it, but they don't have it set up yet. When they do finally set that up, we'll be really happy. And we'll be all jumping for joy and dancing in the streets. But that would be something that I would want to set up very, very, very badly. But not so much that it's going to drive me crazy here. That I should want to abandon Inventorio. Or especially Stacker. Because you get rid of the Stacker mod, then I have to find all the instances with too many of everything. And that's going to be a huge problem. I need this. I need all this extra space for the development. For the development of these properties, you know? My finger hates me. I have more fingers. Worse, it's my middle finger. Look, think of what the middle finger could do to me if I was, if I really offended it. It's like, oh man, no, you're a terrible person. I give you the middle finger. I've already got a middle finger. Doesn't matter. I gotta give it to you anyway. No. Yeah, fine. Oop, there. Middle fingers. Huh. Who came up with the idea of the middle finger? I mean, I don't know anything about who came up with the middle finger. I know that it was the Battle of Agincourt is supposed to have inspired inspired sticking up the two fingers in like a peace sign but in reverse. A peace sign but in reverse, and sticking them upwards with the idea that it offends people because look, we still have our fingers after the other battle that was before. Was it because of Agincourt, or was it at the Battle of Agincourt when a bunch of them had their drawstring fingers were cut off so they couldn't shoot bows, and so they got back and said, look, we still have our fingers, or something like that. Just, I don't know, something like that. I found out about this from Michael Caine. I was watching TV and Michael Caine was on there and he said, why is this the British equivalent of this? And he says, and so he does the second gesture, which is the giving of the finger, the middle finger. And so he tells the story about the Battle of Agincourt. Nice little story, you know. If he was telling it to Batman during The Dark Knight, it would have been funny. No, it was not The Dark Knight. It was The Dark Knight Rises. Apparently he's a loaf of bread. Anyway, he tells that story about, I don't remember, smuggling something, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so that would just be straight out for that, and so that's ready. As you can see, this is already taking shape. It's a rectangle. There we go. But we haven't decided what we're going to do at this level. Yeah. It's probably not going to be there, though. It'll probably be something else. That's why I'm not filling this in. It's because I don't know yet where we're going to put this. And this. And I'm going to get the hiccups if I'm not careful. No, I have no idea. Well, it would make more sense if we just kept it going up here. Make more sense if we just kept it going up here. So let's just do that. And how far out here are we going to do this? It depends on what we're going to do with this hill. See, everything has to connect with everything else in some way. That looks all wrong. That's got to be filled in. I didn't fill that in. I probably said I was going to do it off camera a couple episodes ago, but what happened is I didn't do that because, what do you want? I'm talking to the audience, not you. Sorry. I'll make life a little easier for you. I'll get rid of these. We don't need them. We'll have a strawberry farm somewhere, but it ain't going to be here. I want them to introduce more. I mean, I just wish they would follow the template of the original Lord of the Rings mod. I mean, that's all they really need to do. You know, it's nice that you're building different kinds of weird trees to make this place look like the planet Namek, but that's not going to help any. Yeah, this got to be flattened out over here. There's no point in having it like that. What's the level for this? 82. 82's nice. We could theoretically say let's cap this out at 82 over here. And what about this area? This area has a lot of yeah, I think we'll leave it at 82 at this level. And that needs to be filled in. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so what we'll probably do is we'll probably have 82 is not here, but it's going to be like here. We'll have it like here. Have to lower that, and we'll probably have to chop down the tree. Well, we got more places to put trees. We're not going to get rid of trees entirely. I do save all of the saplings, mostly. I may have let some drop the other day. And put the wheat seeds here. Oh, I always put wheat seeds here, and I should probably put eggs there. But if I do that, I might get more chickens. I don't want more chickens. All right. So this and this. No. Yes. Right. See, now, this is the thing, is you're like, I wish I had some way of getting a shaped, but if you do this, then it's going to take on all of those, and all of those, and all of those, and it just gets in the way. I only want to do the ones at this layer from here, or maybe in a direction from here, or something, and for vein mining. But you see, the thing is, Princess Cyan Marine, who goes by that name, and I don't know the gender, I don't know the pronoun, but presumably female, but again, you don't go around presuming in this day and age. Princess Cyan Marine, who is behind this mod, is like, if you want special shaped crafting, or not crafting, digging and such like, then you have to, there's another mod for that. I'm like, well, not for 1.20.1 there isn't. And then there's also Digimus Maximus or something like that. And it's the same problem. Doesn't have it. About the only one you could really get. I hate that too. I want to disable these, or at the very least, it'd be nice if I could use them for something. Like, not tools, but like, why not extra tool slots? And then there's a mod called Little Big Inv, or just Big Inv, depending on what text file you're reading. The guy who created it is named Andrew Grant, and it's now on the Cubic Chunks Discord. Interestingly, it's one of the mini mod makers. But Little Big Inv is, of course, for 1.20, and there's no Cubic Chunks coming out for 1.20 now. I wish I could motivate my comrades in arms, or comrades in mods, or whatever, to actually go and actually make the damn mod the way we want it made, you know? Like meaning at all. Can you blame me? I'm as frustrated as anyone else. Yeah, this definitely needs to be worked on, and that needs to be sorted out, and this is a mess. So this is where it's over here. This is where we're going to have this come out. That's what I've discovered. It's always better to work on this, to get the whole thing straightened out. Where does this come out? This comes out right here. And I'm gonna have to chop this down. I'm sorry, Mr. Tree. More eating. Well, I got plenty of food. I need a sip. I need a sip of a drink. 4:30. 4:40 a.m. for me. So, how's everybody else doing? Unfortunately, I don't hear from anybody. Don't have anybody right now. Now, you might say, well, this is no good, because then there's all this space. But see, the thing is, now we've got a space here that we can put a building. We could have a building over here of some kind. What kind? I don't know. Lots of gravel. Lots of gravel. Can't use that. Yeah, so this is nice, but it's like... that only applies to out here, or wherever it is we're going to build that. That's not right. That is not right at all. Alright, so what we need here is this. Okay, so Hard to see things. What do you want? I'm working. Yes, I work continuously. Semi-continuously. I take breaks. I sleep. I've had to tell the hobbits on only one occasion, and not because they asked me, but because I had to tell them just the one time, I am not a god. I only told them that so as to point out that if they ever think that I am greater than they think I am as a being of any kind, to not get any such aspersions. But then they told me they didn't. Okay, I also want to have a field. I want to have a little field area where we're going to have nothing but roses. Now you're going to say that's impossible. It was, where are you going to get all the roses from? And the answer is, of course, bone meal. You use the bone meal and you create, and you get all sorts of stuff, and eventually you get a whole bunch of roses. Theoretically. Theoretically. Okay. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Or as John Lennon used to say, slowly but slowly. He got tired of that by the time he was a Beatle, so you don't hear him saying that regularly. Maybe it's in one of his books. I don't know. And that's... I dug there, but then this area got affected by it. Look at it. Ugh. Yeah, this is fine. That's the reason why I haven't worked on the wall, is because we don't know what the edges of the wall are going to, the edges of that property are going to be, what heights they're going to be at. I want to finalize that before making the wall. And I don't think we have to worry right now about orc invasions. It's possible, though, we could get attacked by Saruman or somebody. So we should have this in mind, and we should work around the edges of the property, and we will. We will. We will indeed. But we're not going to work on that right now. Maybe later if we get the chance. We got to finish this area. And we got to... Maybe we can try to flatten this out if we can. I don't know where we're going to set... I guess we could keep this going over here. And then we could have flat area over here. And I don't know. Well, let's see what we got. How far away is that? A lot of button pushing to do. It's all getting the timing right. Ugh. Hello, sheep. I thought I had shears with me. Why don't I have shears? I should shear sheep. Well, I don't have any. I don't have any. So you've got to expect the hobbits to help you with that, because I can't. Let's see, what else have I done? I found... Oh, no, I can't talk about that. The comic book I was reading called... Yeah, there was a comic I was reading called. Well, let me explain. This is old news, but not everybody knows about this. If you've ever, everybody's going on oh yeah, I was watching. Was I watching a video or was I reading somebody's text? Oh, it was probably on Imgur, which is actually supposed to be pronounced Imager, but who gives a shit? And what did they do? Somebody was saying, what was the thing that got you into superheroes? And they were all discussing movies and cartoons. And I'm like, what about comic books? Isn't anybody... It should have been comic books. If you're nuts about superheroes, you should have read a comic book, because that's where the good stories were. And they are. The best stories are from comic books. Why are you bothering with movies that are just so junk? The movie exists. It's got great special effects, great acting, maybe even a good story. But what's wrong with it? Consider what might be wrong with it, you know? You've only got one movie worth of story for that character until that character appears in the next movie. When is that going to be? 3 years? 5 years? Suddenly everybody's 5 years older. Meanwhile, with a comic book, you can have continuous stories every month. 12 issues a year? If it sells. And let's be honest, it doesn't always sell. And look at how great they are, you know. Now, the stories were kind of lame in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and yes, even the early 60s had some pretty lame stories. But then it really started picking up. And the 70s, well, they were also bad compared to today. But they were really good for the time, and they had some monumental classic stuff. Okay, now this could be a hobbit hole. This could indeed be a hobbit hole, but wouldn't be much of one. But if that keeps going up and up and up, we could have something over here. But probably not, because we got to figure out what to do about that area. And we got to... That area's a mess. Did I show you this area? I think I showed it last episode. Two watering holes next to each other. And so I put up a few hobbit places. There's 6 of them. And this is very interesting, but I probably wouldn't do it that way today. This area, I should probably fill it in. I don't think I got to fill the whole thing in. 82 is a nice level. It would be great for it to be a level. That's all I could... excuse me. That's all I can really say about this. This area has to also be flattened out, and I don't know how we're going to arrange that, how that's going to work out, but we could definitely do something there. Maybe even put a hobbit hole there. I don't know. I haven't decided on these things. But having a hobbit hole up here, that's probably a mistake. So we should probably just cut this down. It's nice the way it is now, though. Alright, we'll continue this area. I'll say one thing. It just says stone shovel. It doesn't say hyper stone shovel, dull stone shovel, etc., etc., etc. They don't have anything like that for making stuff in different... But that's kind of the thing. I like getting... What are you doing? And you're in my way. I'm gonna accidentally kill a hobbit again. So I was reading comic books, and there was this comic called 52. Now, this was... I want to say that it was 18 years ago, but I'm not sure exactly how long it was. I pretty much stopped reading comics in the mid-90s because Marvel was doing some really bad stories, and I just wasn't interested in following DC, mostly, the regular heroes of DC. I liked the Vertigo stuff, mostly. You know, Doom Patrol, Shade the Changing Man, Sandman, that sort of thing. But anyway... Is this gonna just go all the way in this direction? Then there's more and more of them to do. Anyway, so I'd stopped reading comics, and that was a bad idea, but, you know, my wallet was very thankful. Because I needed money for many other things. And comics were just uninteresting. I was more into video games. It's the same thing. It's like when they were saying superheroes, and they're like, what movie got you into superheroes? And the answer is no, it's comics got me into superheroes. Or if you want to be accurate, I found out about superheroes from watching Batman TV show in syndication, and then later Spider-Man cartoon from Ralph Bakshi. Now, I don't mean the original runs, obviously. I'm not that old. This was in the late 70s. I was a kid going to kindergarten. And I couldn't even follow the storylines of anything. Spider-Man was probably the first one I could actually follow the story a little bit. Couldn't figure out Batman. I'm like, who are these people, and what are they doing, and why are they doing it? And they just overacting, you know. And it was like the Star Trek show, which I started watching in syndication again around the same time. I'm like, who's the captain? Who's this guy Kirk? He's very warm and kind, and, you know. Anyway, my point is that what got me into superheroes was understanding the story. But it was, the Spider-Man cartoon was just over simple. But I'd watch, let's say, Incredible Hulk or Spider-Man TV show, which was a series, it was like a series of TV movies or something. And that stuff was great, but I couldn't really understand what was happening. And then when I could understand, I didn't really care, because it's like these guys are boring. Because they're written by Hollywood people instead of by comic book writers. Right? So far, so good. Now, but it was comics that got me into superheroes. But I used to view the Marvel heroes as much better and much better stories and much better this and that. And the crappy Superman and Batman comics of the period were just so uninteresting to me because the characters were just overblown. They weren't even as good. Superman wasn't even as good as his movie. One of the first comics I was able to follow was Superman's The Krypton Chronicles, telling the tale of his people before they were wiped out. Something like that. I wasn't great at following the story, but I was able to follow it to a certain extent. I'm sorry, there's nothing here. Where is your beehive anyway? Does the bee have... Not beehive. Does the bee have the coordinates of its hive somewhere in its data? Anyway, so yeah. Didn't think much of Superman and Batman for the most part, but they were there, and I thought... And basically when I found out how many back issues of Superman and Batman there were, it's like, how do you follow the story of Superman or Batman? It goes back 20 years. 30 years. Wait, 38 to 78. Yeah, 40 years. And it's like, how do you follow all that? And then I found out about Earth 1 and Earth 2. And I'm like, well, that never made any sense. I really don't want to carry these around with me. I thought they were carrots, but they're potatoes. Weird. I mean, if you want to get into the understanding of Earth 1 and Earth 2, you have to read... What was it called? Crisis on Multiple Earths, which is the name of the story for all of the tales that are about all the little teeny tiny crises that happened before Crisis on Infinite Earths. So you have to start with Flash of Two Worlds, in which the Flash does... I'm like, the Flash... I didn't have any Flash comics. Okay, he could run fast. He's a very fast guy. I could respect that. In fact, I like the idea. But are his comics any good? I don't know. One day I was given a copy of an old Flash comic from somewhere in the 70s. I don't remember where. He's fighting against the Mirror Master. No, not the Mirror Master. He's fighting against the entire Rogues Gallery except for the top, who was supposed to have died. I think that's what I think it was. There was a funeral or a wake, probably a wake, for the top, and he'd said he planted bombs in Central City and was gonna destroy it if he dies. And so he's dead, and so they're like, oh no, now he's gonna. So they have to contact the rogues have to contact the Flash. But if I remember correctly, Roscoe Dillon didn't actually die. Oh, not more of these things. I hate you. Strawberry Fields never. Oh, this looks nice. I think we have to fill this in. I was probably going to fill it in like last episode. I don't want to fill it in this episode. I'm not sure I want to break all this either. Let's ignore all this. We gotta finish this area over here. We gotta, not that area, but this area. This is good. Goes up here. That's good. But then what do we do once we get up here? I don't know. I change my mind frequently about these things, and then the result is pretty good. All right, so this goes up to here. And so now what we do is we have this go out to here like this. There's no plant here for you. I'm sorry, Mr. B. All right, here we go. And don't get me wrong, I really like The Flash. In fact, that was one of the things that happened. You think the Flash TV show is great, and it is pretty good. It is a really good show. As what's his name would have said, Ed Sullivan. But it has to be said, the comic was slightly better after... You've got the original Flash, he had a terrible comic. His was one of the many comics that was canceled, and that was the end of it. He had two comics, they were both canceled. Wonder Woman had two comics, and only one of them was canceled. That gives you some kind of idea of what we're talking about here. And I'm convinced they canceled her other book, Sensation, because of somebody was in it that they didn't want that character to have to be in it. And that's a story for another day. But they canceled both Flash books. And I think it was some characters in that book were dragging the comic down. There were these three guys who were like, sometimes they were like tramps or hobos. There's a difference. Sometimes they were these other guys. These guys were great, but they were in like every story. What do you want? I'm busy. Where did you get that carrot from? I thought we only had potatoes here. Tell you what, I'll give you a potato. Here you go. Have a potato. Do they pick them up? Do they have an inventory? And I guess we're not going to find out. All right, 77. This is where this is. Again, we had problems back in those days. You couldn't just download comics because you couldn't find them. And they didn't reprint comics from ancient days of 1930s, 40s, and 50s. If you wanted an old comic, you had to buy an old comic. And that sounds insane, but that's because it is insane. Comic costs $1,000. Well, if you want it, you have to pay $1,000 for it. Well, can't you like damage the book so that it's still readable, but it's not collectible anymore? And then I only have to pay $10 for it or something. Nope. Well, why not? I'm offering $10. Yeah, but I'm not going to damage my own. Who's going to pay for that extra cost? It was insane. There were people came up with a microfiche of some kind. That wasn't a microfiche, but they had some kind of strip-based, some kind of little plastic strip-based thing that they could use. I gotta get rid of these. Oh. All right. Here it is. So, yeah, they had a microfiche-like thing, and they had special. They had a special reading device that would enlarge the imagery so you could see it. And it was cover-to-cover reproductions of classic comics from the 1930s and 40s. The main one that they were focusing on was Captain America, but I guess they had most of the old ones. I'm assuming they got permission for these. And they were like, yeah, it only costs like $10 or $5 for each one. I'm assuming there's royalties going to the comic companies, but I don't know that either. Just recently I found out about Joe Simon's attempt to gain control of the Captain America comic by asserting his copyright over it. But it was just the first 10 issues in 1941 and 42. Didn't know about that. And Jack Kirby had to testify against him. That was a surprise. It's almost daytime. Moon is going down. It's a beautiful moon today. I'm telling you, I really need to drink more water, even if it's too much and it kills me. So, yeah, I had to wait. And that was one of the things DC did, was they used to print giant-sized magazines in which they would reprint many classic tales. But it was only while it was only while the comic book was being published. So if you wanted a classic, I don't know, Hawkman, if there wasn't a Hawkman comic, you had to hope it would be printed in some other book. I had a comic that reprinted a Spectre story from, I think it was from an issue of More Fun. But it really wasn't until I had access to downloading the comics. Now, they tell you you really shouldn't download the comics and so on and so forth. And I understand that. But the problem is how do you get the comics? And so what happened is that over the last 20 years, Marvel and DC are finally getting around to reprinting all their classic comics. And hooray for that. I wish we could run sideways. In real life you can't, but it would be nice if I could go a little faster this way. You hold down control and nothing happens. What is wrong with me today? There we go. We're approaching the end of this thing. And we're past the 2-hour mark already, so we can just end whenever we're done with the area. There we go. It's not perfect. We still have to work out where this is going to connect over here. This is at 77, and we might as well recheck everything at this end and at this end. $79. Okay, so we got to work out where we're going to go down to 78, 77. This is a good place for it. All right, I'll consider right there then. But first we're going to have to... Is that the middle? That's the middle, so we'll... More of those guys. Okay, fine. Of course, the thing is, the reprints don't have all the stories. Originally, they were just printing, like, for example, they'd have them available on CD or something, and it would be all the Fantastic Fours, but they'd leave out the annuals, they'd leave out the giant-sized issues, they'd leave out any special appearances anywhere else. And if an FF story continued in another book like Avengers or something, then they wouldn't cover the rest of the story. The idea is that you should buy the Avengers or something like that. But Avengers wouldn't have the... I mean, even if there was continued in giant-sized Avengers #2, oh, I don't have that. Why not? Why didn't you publish it? Or they did publish it. I mean, why didn't they reprint it? And that's all that this was, making this stuff available, but there'd be a comic that they wouldn't make available. Say you want to read Skull the Slayer. You know, there's a comic you don't want to read, really. I couldn't find... I read the issues of Skull the Slayer, and then I asked the question, then what? Are they dead? The story just comes to an end. And then I don't know what to say here. Oh, wrong button. Ooh, problems. Errors. Alright, so what happened was, read Skull the Slayer, and you're like, where's this story finished? I guess they did finish it, but I never found out where they finished it. And we had the same problem with The Man Called Nova. First issue of that I read was #2. Really, they shouldn't have called it The Man Called Nova. What, already? They shouldn't have called it The Man Called Nova because he wasn't a man. He was still a teenager, still going to high school. All right, we have cleared this out, and doesn't it look great? It looks even better when the grass comes in, I can tell you that. Nice big huge area. Nice and flattened out. Now we got to do this bit. That's all done. That goes up to there. That'll be flat over there. We'll have that go out to there. Let's see how we're going to do this. We might as well check this out first. Okay, so we want to keep that tree if possible. So what we do is we'll just do this. I don't know what we're going to do on this side, but we can do something on this side, I guess. Maybe we can have this go out to here. Like this. What do you want? I really don't like that there. Oh. Oh! How's it gonna grow if... Oh, never mind. If there's no dirt under it. Oop. I'm gonna have to re-break that because I don't want it being used for that purpose. So the man called Nova was the problem because it was, how does it end? Well, the story ends in Fantastic Four, and you kind of knew that already. They continued it in another book before it went to Fantastic Four, though, and I didn't know about that one. And so that's how that went, and that was fine. But the story was terrible. It took a long time before they returned to finishing the story. Anyway, that's not the important thing. Today, most people remember the end of the Xandar story as the one where the Skrulls zapped the FF with the aging ray. Wait, what am I doing? Oh. I'm going to make that mistake again. You just know it. So when reading about, say, The Flash, for example, I was like, well, how do you find out all the backstory? Well, fortunately, the early issues of the comic books, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, anybody, really, that they did, the stories were terrible enough and they would just end. They didn't have continued stories. So it didn't matter too much, but you did have to pay attention to what the storyline was. I mean, Superman didn't... I mean, Clark Kent wasn't going to the Daily Planet right away. I mean, for years it was the Daily Star. So the idea of Flash of Two Worlds, it's a great idea. Don't get me wrong. Oh, wait, this is flat over here. Which means that over here we're going to have to do something else. Well, this is why we have this set up like this. The story is very simple. You know, the first Flash had terrible stories. Not really worth reading. You just accept that he's able to run really fast and he can catch criminals, but the criminals aren't all that impressive. That was a problem DC and Marvel had. It's mostly gangsters for criminals. Look at all that. There's mostly gangsters for criminals. It's hardly worth doing. Oh, and this time you just go this way. Yeah, that makes a kind of sense. Maybe. So when you get to the new Flash, it's because he'd been off. 1949, both of his comics were lost, and he stayed in the supergroup, which was called the Justice Society. It was printed in All Star Comics, and it was continuing to 51 or 52. I forgot the year. Wherein he retired, and then he encountered the new Flash one day. Now here's the thing about it. There was no reason why it had to be a different world. Why couldn't the first Flash have met the second Flash? Well, somebody was paying attention to the continuity. Whether it was Julius Schwartz or who it was, I don't know. But he was keeping the two Flashes apart. They were saying that the original Flash was a character in a comic book. Which would mean he knew the identity of the guy. And that was what happened. So they had to be in separate Earths. It worked. And that's where the story comes from. And this is not going to get done today. It's just too much to get done today. I got enough extra dirt, though. Yeah. We could probably have a hobbit hole over there, but we'd have to change the... this is 2 instead of 1. It'd have to be changed over to 1. But it could be done, I suppose. I don't know. But if you read those early comics, the stories are not very well told. It's just they're giddy with this, that they're playing with this new idea. They're giddy that they're playing with this new idea, and they're trying to make it simple enough for the kids to understand it. I don't remember when they start calling it Earth 1 and Earth 2. There's another story with other characters, and then they get to Crisis on Earth 1, Crisis on Earth 2, and they finally discuss that there are different Earths. In the pages of Justice League of America. No, nobody knew about that. Got a drink again. Got a bit of a sore throat today, not much. I got a lot of work to do today. That's why I'm getting this done at 4+ a.m. 5:20 a.m. now. So the rest of the Flash comics were really good. Barry Allen trying to keep his identity secret even from his girlfriend, but he knew that when once he proposed to her, he was going to have to explain to her that he was the Flash. And what was great was that there was a lot of times he had to do stuff, and it was much more sophisticated than the original Flash had been. And it's a much better told tale, but again, it wasn't any... Oh, not again. And we are really running out of the dirt, so I'm going to have to call it quits soon. Oh, you knew it. You knew you were going to fall in there. All right, fine. It wouldn't have killed him, though. All right, give me this stupid frickin' pipeweed. Blah. Thanks a lot. All right, it's all flattened out except for this. And we'll need to fix some of that and get rid of the pipeweed there. And this is a slightly raised portion. And I don't know how this is going to connect with that stuff over there, because I don't know how we're going to fix that slope yet. That'll have to be done in... well, it might have to be off camera. I don't know. But this area is now pristine, apart from, you know, some grass that's just sticking around for no reason. And so the hosers from Canada, I hope they're happy. I've given them a nice, beautiful place, and if they want, they could build a garden over here. Putting a garden in front is kind of silly. They could put a horse pen there. Who knows? It's nice. Whoa, I almost fell in. Well, I gotta finish this, I guess. And then we'll be calling it quits because it's the 2.5 hour mark, and I really can't stream for very long. I can play the game for 9 hours straight if I wanted, but I get to stop once in a while and sit and watch a video and stuff like that. Can't do that on stream. You know what? We should focus on this. I said we were going to raise the level of this at some point. This would be a good place to do that. Yeah, 3 hours for me is the maximum for streaming, unless I've got a lot of time. And today I don't have a lot of time because I got a lot of chores to do at home. Let's see, I gotta finish the laundry, clean the furnace filter, work in the backyard. Okay, so then we do one more over here. Forgot you. So anyway, 52 is a comic that is, if you've been paying attention to the DC comics, to a lot of the DC comics that existed at the time, then if you've paid attention to those DC comics, then you can really appreciate it because you can pay attention to what the characters are doing in various places and various things. And it's a weekly comic that came out in, I think, around 2006. Don't quote me on that. It might have been 2007. And it builds upon previous stories that existed. There was first there was Identity Crisis. Oh, and I just remembered something. I'm gonna have to give away the. Oh, this is not gonna work. It worked. Okay, about the Identity Crisis. When I found out about this, I was freaked out. I was like, that was the murderer? If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to reveal the spoiler as to who did it. There was the murder of a character called Sue Dibney, who was Elongated Man's wife. It was a very beloved character. And the murderer was Jean Loring, the ex-wife of the Atom. Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. You can uncover your ears now. The name Jean Loring is very interesting because there was a murderer named something very similar to that in real life. And here's the story. There was a man When Groucho Marx got his start in show business, when was that? The 1900s. Was it 1905, 1904? I don't remember the exact year. When Groucho Marx got his start in vaudeville, he worked as part of a group called the Leroy Trio, not to be confused with the Nairobi Trio or the Kingston Trio or Hi-Ho the Trio. I don't know what I was trying to say there. He was hired to dress up in drag. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying he was hired to do various vaudeville things, including dressing up in drag and such like. And he willingly did it because he thought that was part of show business, and it is indeed at that point part of show business. The man who ran was named Eugene Leroy, who was in charge of the trio and hired the people that would work with him. And you know the rest of that, perhaps. And if you don't, I'll tell the rest of the story. And after a couple of gigs, a few gigs, I don't remember how many gigs, where they did some simple song and dancing, just like vaudeville normally has. It's one day, the two other guys in the group, Eugene Leroy and Johnny Morris, both left suddenly in the middle of the night, and Groucho found his money was gone when he woke up. And he was stranded, and he had trouble getting home. I forget if he had to take a job to be able to pay his way back home, but that's the train ticket home, and that's how that went. And I don't remember the story very well at that point. And you could read all about it in a few other places, most notably the book by Robert S. Bader, or Bader, is it Bader or Bader? I don't know. Four of the Three Musketeers, which tells the story. Now, the story would have ended there. Later on, Johnny Morris turned up, and Groucho could probably have demanded his money at that time. But we don't know if Johnny Morris took the money, or if Eugene Leroy took the money, or if they both took the money. There was also some question as to whether those two guys, they're not really men, I guess. Maybe Eugene Leroy were lovers. Again, they're not bad because they're not bad because they were gay. They were bad because they were stealing from him. And worse was certainly possible, as we find out. Because some years later, it was 10 or 15 years later, there was a manhunt for a man named Eugene Leroy. Or just Gene Leroy. And this is complicated. I forget how it went. He either stuffed his wife's body, it was either that he killed his wife or that he killed his wife's lover. Now, if he's married, he wasn't gay. But maybe he could have been bi or something. It doesn't matter what he was. You know, that's not the important thing. The important thing here is the man, if it's the same man, seems to have killed somebody because of a romantic tiff and because he discovered his wife was cheating on him, and he either murdered his wife or the man that she was loving. Something like that. It's possible. This definitely needs to be cut off here. And stuffed the pieces of the chopped up body in a trunk or some big thick suitcase or something, and mailed it to the other person involved. A manhunt went out for him. Did they catch him? No. He used several different identities, according to what we've heard in the story. Now, what does all this have to do with Identity Crisis, the DC comic in which something goes on with Gene Loring? Well, the thing was, in 1970, or rather, maybe in 69, Groucho was giving an interview with a man named Richard Anobile, or something like that, for a book called, forgot the book title. It wasn't the Groucho File. Was it the Groucho? No, it wasn't the Groucho Letters. Well, whatever the book was, it was Groucho giving interviews, and he hated his interviews, and he tried to sue over to stop the publication of the book because he realized he wasn't being portrayed in the way that he thought was okay. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is he gave the person's name, the person who was involved, as Loring, and then later he corrected it to Leroy. But for a while he was saying it was Loring. What am I doing here? I shouldn't be here. We're finished with this. So at one point he's calling the person's name Jean Loring. Who was a murderer, according to the story. But Groucho never said that was the murderer. Groucho never said that the man actually committed murder. You see. He didn't. Necessarily. But he might have. He might have committed murder. We don't know. Yeah, this is going to have to be... We're going to have to... we're going to make this go continuously from there to there. And to do that, we're going to have to... Let's see. Where's the... what's the value here? 707. This is it here. What do we got over here? What's all this? We're probably going to leave this up here. Probably going to leave this up here, but we gotta chop down some stuff down here. Alright, so it goes to 707. I just want to do this so that I have some kind of idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. That I have to break all this off. So Identity Crisis was the first one. Then there was a build-up to Infinite Crisis. Now this is where the problem starts coming in. Because if you wanted to read all the stories that were leading up to Infinite Crisis, it was going to set you back a lot of money. There were a lot of different little series going on. 6 or 4 issues or whatever. And it wasn't very, yeah. People were starting to complain. So it builds up to this really bad thing called Infinite Crisis. It was just a whole bunch of bad things happen all at the same time. Now Marvel had something similar. What was it called? One Bad Day or something. In which the Avengers they couldn't do anything right. And they just about ruined everything at the United Nations. And we can talk about that, but we're not going to talk about that. The Avengers and other Marvel comics are doing a lot better by this point in time. And I can talk about that, but it won't be today. Where the hell did that come from? But for me to explain the storyline of Infinite Crisis is physically impossible because there's so many little aspects, you know. Something goes on with Maxwell Lord. And you have to read Justice League International to find out who Maxwell Lord even is and what that has to do with anything. You know, Booster Gold, I forgot what happened with Booster Gold, but he's gone for the period of time. And then you've got the Blue Beetle is investigating something and nobody wants to listen to him because they're busy dealing with something else. And so he's like, he thinks it's a slight against him. And so he's like, I'm going to show them. And so he investigates something. And he finds out that there's this database that knows everybody's secret identities. And Checkmate has gone evil. Or it's a different Checkmate. And then there's something going on with Lex Luthor. Or maybe there's 2 Lex Luthors. Although that gets explained later on. And then Wonder Woman has to kill somebody, and I'm not going to tell you who it was. If you've read the comics, you know, and if you haven't read the comics, I really recommend you go read those comics. And it culminates in the Infinite Crisis, which is just horrible. One bad thing after another. The public hating people and hating superheroes again like they did back in Legends. If you remember Legends. And so that was it for them. That was what they did. And so finally things were so bad. Now how are we going to do this bit here? I guess we could just do this. And so at the end of the story, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman gave up. And they said, we're going to lay low for a year. And so they decided we're going to do a story called 1 Year Later, which is going to continue what happened after a year. But what did happen during that year? And that's where 52 came in. 52 is the story of what happened during the 1 year without Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And it is a complete, crazy, insane mess. Every issue of it is worth reading. And it's shocking. And it's building up to something again. It was such an exciting story that... And by this time people are complaining. I gotta buy 52 issues of a comic book over a year just to keep track of the storyline, which is fine, but it's like 52 issues at what was it, $2? I don't know how much it cost. It might have been $2.50. I don't remember what they cost, but yeah, whatever it was costing, it was more than it should have been. And as far as they were concerned, they're like, I like that there is these really complicated, convoluted stories, but I don't like having to pay all this money for it. And I'm not the only one saying that. I almost hit you. If I'd hit you, then I'd have to fight against all these guys. You get out of the construction zone. Like I'm saying, it's very, very hard to keep track of all of this. I mean, what's the correct reading order? Something happens in one book, and it's simultaneous with something else happening in another book. Thanks. Thank you so... Alright, well, we've done that area. We're going to do this area now. We've kept this natural, and I like the idea of keeping it natural, but how are we going to deal with this? What do you think? 73? Is that 73 or 72? It's 72. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably do 72 here. Two, 1, 2, 9 or 10, I don't know. Remember how I spent most of an episode working on this area, and now I see how stupid the whole thing is. Yeah, we gotta flatten this whole area out. This whole area gotta be filled in. We gotta fill this area in, and then we gotta make it all fit with this area. This is like the first goose or whatever. The first goose that was that ever was holding one of those. This one's also holding one. I've hated this since I saw it. We're gonna fix this right now. That's the problem with this. This has been bothering me. Excuse me. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we just gotta fix this. Put dirt here. I'm sick of this. It's gotta be done properly, you know? I'm not saying that's gotta be ignored, but I just gotta have this thing flat. So 52 led to something. And there were stories I didn't know about. I didn't know that there was a Batman comic in which Bruce Wayne was accused of murder. And they eventually booked him into jail. And then he escaped jail. And I'm not going to tell you the rest of the story. But that was one story. I was like, ah. And then he stopped being, you know, it's one thing to stop being Batman, but he stopped being Bruce Wayne. He was trying to give up the Bruce Wayne identity. Man, that was insane stuff. I'm telling you, these comics are fantastic. But they're all over the place. That was before 52, and I think it was before Identity Crisis, but don't quote me on that. I don't remember what it actually was. Gotta take a drink here. But we're almost done. Maybe a lot of you are upset that I'm doing all this landscaping. I'm not building very many buildings yet. And I'm sorry about that, but I don't want to build the buildings until the areas are right for everything. I don't want to build a building and then find out that the landscape should be a little higher or a little lower in a certain place. And then have to start the building all over again. So it's got to be the landscaping is just 100% perfect. Which it will be. I'll get there. I will get there. I'm no fool. This is 81. How are we going to do this? More of you guys. Why wasn't I getting rid of these? Ugh. Yeah, we could probably just dig all this out. Should be okay. We just dig all this out. Flatten it all. But at 81, when it actually goes up to 79... Alright, I'll tell you what we're going to do. That's probably going to get flattened, or rather straightened out. This is it. This is where it should happen. All right. Let me get rid of these. The hell? Get out of the way, please. Get out of the way, please. And so anyway, 52 built to this really great conclusion. And the conclusion was a story called World War III, which features Black Adam versus, like, everybody else in the world. Like, he's going to he's going to kill everybody. That's what it seems like, anyway. If you don't know who Black Adam is, you might think I was just saying something racist. I assure you I am not. The character is, I guess the character is somewhat Egyptian, but I'm not too clear on that. I don't know why he was called Black Adam, and it's not important. I don't think he's meant to represent Adam as in Adam and Eve. There's some other kind of Adam character. I don't really understand much about the characters called the Marvel family. Because I didn't read those comics. Because they were too primitive, the comics, when I was the old Shazam stuff. And they're very old, you know. About the only thing they ever reprinted was the Monster Society of Evil, and I didn't get to see that. 25 or 26 issues of a great comic storyline that I don't remember it. I don't remember reading it. The whole business of Earth 1 and Earth 2 is kind of weird, and it's all the weirder when you consider how everything just changed suddenly in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So it retroactively changed the whole Earth 2 storyline. So it's not Earth 2 anymore, but it's New Earth. But most of the storylines are very similar to what actually happened. But not anymore because there was never an Earth 1 anymore. There had been, but now there wasn't. And then 52 had a big secret, which was that all the extra universes that were created during it. Well, I'm not gonna explain what happened, but there was a big secret, and it had to do with those universes. And I can't tell you the big secret of 52 about those guys coming back and causing all kinds of things to happen, and they had to be stopped. And I say those guys because I'm not going to say who they are, but it involved Earth 1. The story involved Earth 1, even though there was no longer an Earth 1. You see why this is so confusing? Most people just like, well, we can't we can't give spoilers, but it's going to have to be spoiled anyway because there's just no way to tell the story. Well, discussing that as a preview for what else is to be discussed. See what I mean? Wait, are you freaking kidding me? Oh, it is dirt. It looks like gravel. Why does the dirt look like gravel? What the hell is wrong with everything? Damn. Alright. So anyway, when that was done, they started a new comic called Countdown. And it starts at 52 and it goes down. And Countdown number 51, then number 50. They'd done that before with another comic called 0 Hour. They were counting down to 0 hour. And then they counted down to Infinite Crisis, but that wasn't the same thing. Okay, I don't know where we're going to put this. How are we going to do this? Alright, this is how we're going to do this. Looks like we might go past the 3-hour mark, because I want to keep telling this story. Alright, that's it. Okay, so then we could do this. And so this continues from this, and this is where this goes out. Okay, good. All right. This time we had a comic called Countdown, but what was it counting down to? The answer was Final Crisis. And I read it once, but I forgot how it went. I forgot what happened during the Final Crisis, and I may have missed the ending. Grant Morrison was the only guy writing it. Now, I have a great deal of respect for Grant Morrison's writing, because he did Doom Patrol before John Byrne ruined it. I thought I saw lightning. I've lost most of my respect I have for John Byrne because he ruined Doom Patrol by ignoring continuity. He didn't have to. He could have created things the way that he wanted them to be, and it would have upset me, but if he'd had a continuity reason for doing it, I would have been fine with it. You know? Ugh. But I can't be very fine with it if it's going to be like that. I mean, like I said, I have better respect for Grant Morrison, even though he's a vegan. Not only a vegan, but he's one of those kind of vegans that wants to lecture you about not eating meat. Even though he was like that, I'm like, no, definitely under no circumstances. Because he did such a good job, even with Animal Man, in which he was going on and on about people shouldn't eat animals. Didn't stay on the book, though, did he? Okay, yeah, it's about time we sorted this mess out over here. I don't know how we're going to do this. I said we were going down to 72. And this is it here. No, that's 73. So this is where it's coming out. But how's it going to be done? How are we going to get it up here, and then what do we do once it is up here? Well, I think I know what I'm doing. We'll figure this out. Well, anyway, as I was saying, people were really hating, or they were going crazy because of what was going on with Grant Morrison's writing on Final Crisis, from what I've heard. So I don't know anything about it. So I'm gonna read all that again, and I really want to read all that again. Maybe this time I'll remember it. I actually know almost nothing about these stories. It's interesting to read about DC characters, but then something happens and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to read anymore about somebody or something. It's like the Avengers of the early 90s. I didn't like that very much because of where it was going. That story with that crazy alien warlord that nobody cared about. He's just sitting around there. You can't carry anything in your mouth, can you? Are we there yet? 79. Wasn't 79 it? Or was it 80? What do we got over here? 80. No, it's 79. No, it's going to have to be... Yeah, it's just going to have to be this way. It's just going to have to be this way. We're just going to have to go around with that. And we're going to have to figure out some way to make this fit back over there. We can do it. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we can do it. Then we got to sort that mess out. And I'm forgetting what's up here. It's that area. That area could be flattened out. I possibly think so. Yeah, it looks like it could. It certainly is drooping. The land that droops. The real problem is what we're going to do with that area down there. And I don't know, but it's a mess. And what is going on? We could see that guy's house. Some candles. Alright, so, well, we're almost done. I really got to hurry up and finish because I've really got all those chores I was talking about. I got to do them. Anyway, the point is DC Comics is a very big and complicated thing, and I don't like the idea of having to try to remember everything. I'm not good at it, really. Okay. I screwed up. I screwed up again. I freaking screwed up again. Okay, here we go. Oh no, you're not getting up nowhere. You're gonna be stuck down there. Because I didn't say traipse around up there, did I? Did I? Oh, man. Alright, here we go. I was supposed to be done by now, and it's already 6 o'clock, and... Oh no, you're trapped down there. You're sealed into your tomb. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Break that one. 8. Break that one. 9. Eh? These are the lower ones. We'll get to those at some other point, but not today. That's one reason why I work on this off camera, is I'm not going to get as much done if I wait before stream, if I just don't do anything until I'm streaming. I've got a lot to do, but I don't have time to stream because I got to do 2 or 3 things at once. You know, one of them is read comics or watch videos or something at the same time I'm playing this. See, it works now. Where does this go? Yeah, we can't do this until we have some kind of idea as to where this is. We could flatten the whole thing out, but that's not the flat area. This is very complicated. Let's just leave it up there and we'll decide what to do next time. I need to stream more often though, so I'm going to probably be doing this more often. Spending more time on this instead of all that. Oh, look who's back. It's you guys again. And I probably missed one. This looks weird. It's like somebody was buried here. Just wanting to straighten everything out before we can get anything done with building buildings. That's it. That's all that this is about. It's gotta be done. Okay. Almost done. How are we gonna sort this out? Now, exactly how we're going to increase this space and how we're going to make it look somewhat realistic is really not known at this point in time, but it's got to be done, and we're going to figure it out. And I like leaving a lot of it like this, you know, gravel and sand, but we can't plant seagrass. And we got clay. But we've also got dirt, and the dirt doesn't seem to turn into grass. And we got kelp, which is interesting. So maybe we can increase the space, but we'd have to rigidly define the border. I mean, the area around it, and then we'd have to increase it, and so on and so forth. So that's going to take a while. And meanwhile, this has to be done, obviously. Wait, am I doing this right? He thinks he's doing it right, but he does not know. He does not know. No, wait, that one's fine. Somehow that went wrong. That's wrong. This area is not going to get finished today. I can just tell. There's just too much to work on to make it work with connect with that, and then we have to clear that out, and I don't even have time for that today. Like I said, I got a lot of other things to do. But we got to at least make an effort. Even if there is a horse in the way. Why is there a horse in the way? Why are you in the way? Yeah, I really messed this up last time I just thought this would be kept completely natural. It would be a watering hole. We would keep it natural so that it would have all the natural stuff and no contaminants and stuff. But I realize now that this area needs to have needs to be expanded upon. There needs to be more water trickling in from somewhere. I was even thinking of actually setting up a waterfall somewhere. But then where's that waterfall going to come from? We could set up a waterfall, I suppose. It's possible. Anyway, if anybody's upset about my playing the game in such a way that they didn't want it to be done this way, this is a very large, very long project. You know, it's got a lot of episodes to it because I've got a lot of progress to give. There is a lot that happens in it, and I can't talk about this without doing it. I can't. I mean, I spent I spent over 2 weeks working on spent longer than 2 weeks working on this, and I'm sick of it, of not getting anywhere with this. I'm going to showcase what I've done, and I'm going to keep working on this. If anybody wants me to work on 0 or 7 instead, let me know. Let me know in the comments. As for 0, I can't work on it until it's kept current, until Inventorio and Stacker are kept current with the current version of 1.20.6. And for 1.21, that's going to keep this from advancing as well. All right, here we go. Yep. And that's what it should look like, except with grass. We'll have grass eventually. And there we go. And so we've got a little space between here. Probably here is where we can have the water come out to. Probably. For that reason, I'm leaving that block left like that. I'm going to forget that too. But yeah, we'll have the water come out to there, and then we'll have We got to work out what happens at this end. I don't know what happens at this end. Work out what happens at that end. One last thing. Okay, so that's 65, I think it is. What's the height for water? It's 65. Yeah, originally it was 64 and it went down to 63 in vanilla, but here in Lord of the Rings land, it's 65 for some stupid reason. Now, how are we going to do this? This is good. So it's going to be a wider lake at this rate. Sort of thing. So there's a lot more room between here and here. And all that's got to be dug out. And so we dig it out by... Well, we don't have to show how it's done, but that's that end. I don't know what we're going to do with the other two ends, the other two direct compass points toward the lake. If we're going to keep this, and I don't know that we are, but if we do, then we have to account for that. Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking this is the level. But isn't that down there? Yeah, it's at 69. We might want to dig out everything at level 60 up to down to 69. If I had another saddle, I'd get rid of you. I'd saddle, 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 saddle. Yeah. So I just need the iron, really. Yep. I hate trying to fix this. Oh, here we go. Why can't it be very far away horse? Alright, so that just leaves up the question as to what we're going to do with 69 and 70 and maybe 71. We can fix that, but I don't know what we're going to do with that area. That area is in the wrong place, and I don't know whether we should keep it or if we should just do something else with that area. The house there, what's the name of the guys at the house? Wurzel Gummidge. Surprised I could see it from this far away. Alright, so that's taken care of. Now we gotta figure out this. Well, this is this has got to go. Giant jumping jacks. No, not jumping jacks, just jacks. Like I said, I don't know what we're going to do here. So that's open. That's all open. I don't know yet. All right, well, we finished the staircase. We've got more to work on in this place. That horse is following me around. I'm telling you, I don't have a saddle for you. I need the iron for everything else. See that iron? This iron, once it's gone... Well, I've still got more iron after that, actually. All right, we're done here. I can't go any more than 3.5 hours. I'm really in a hurry to get other things. Oh man, oh, hold on. I see a problem here. Yep. I'm telling you, it's always more to do. Always more to frickin' do. I frickin' hate these people. Why can't the hobbits build something really cool? And I gotta do it instead. Alright, that's better. And what do I do about this? I don't know. Tell you what, though. We gotta work on that. We gotta work on this. We gotta figure out where we're gonna put this. How far out does it go from here? Does it just go out to here only? Does this go out a little further in this direction and then... Nope, I have no idea. Alright, well, what was this? This was 81? So we go down to here and we're like, what, 72? That's it. That's all it goes out to is 3. You know what, though? We don't have to do... we don't have to do 2 in this end. We could just do 1 at that end. And so we can have a... I'm sorry this is taking so long. I'm determined to get this done, though. Yep. $81. And that is fine because that way we can have... That way we can have this area, can have something, and then we can have a pathway coming out from here. Or better yet, a pathway from here. There's no reason we couldn't have a pathway over here. Goes to that guy's house, but we can have a continue over here to this guy's house. It might just be about possible. But if we do this, then we have to... Oop. It would have to be over here. That's not very good. Well, Well, we could have the pathway go over here, but that pathway's over there. It would have to go around like that. Well, who knows? Who indeed knows? I don't knows. I don't know anybody who knows. Well, maybe from here we could have a pathway going down, and it would go to the same place over there. We'll have some kind of road thing from down that way, and it'll go over there. Yeah, so we got stuff we could do here. There's a lot of complication in this area, which is why I wasn't working on it before. I want to retain some of the natural beauty of this area, if I can. And if I'm just messing around with all this stuff, then I can't. So you see where I'm going with it. And so I don't know what to say. We'll be back next time. Oh, and I didn't say this here. I've got a cape. See you next time. Remember, kids, no matter how complicated life gets to you, you keep at it. Today, the big thing is the epic project. Don't build it in creative mode. Build it in survival mode. It's so much better. It takes longer, but it's worth it. It's really, you built something in survival, and you could say, look, I built that in survival. Look at how great this is. You've got to deal with obstacles along the way. But, if you don't like having to deal with creepers and phantoms and skeletons and stuff, then why not try Middle-earth mod? It's been around for a year. It's been around for a year. It's wonderful. I keep wanting to look at my cape. It's wonderful. It's taking its time, and you've got this fantastic. You can have a render distance of 4 kilometers, or even more if you've got a really good computer. If you've got distant horizons and Iris. Iris was Barry Allen's wife, by the way. You're wondering why I was going on about that. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. I wish I could say that to people who are actually watching. We had one guy at the beginning of the video. There's a lot to do here. And it's a long story of how everything got built. And a lot of it just moving around dirt at this point. But when we're done, then we start the buildings. And whoa, watch out then. See you next time. Take good care of yourself. Oh, I sound like Jerry Springer when I say that. Bye-bye.